Welcome back to the IBSP. Here's your host, Foxy New.
Gennady Golovkin and Errol Spence are not at the same level. And look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And a subscriber sent me this post, and it states, when all is said and done, both Errol Spence Jr. and Triple G will go down as the same level of fighter. Now, this is one of the dumbest comments I've ever heard, and this is why. Because Errol Spence Jr. was a decent fighter, but Triple G was an all-around elite fighter in many categories. So to make this comparison seems very stupid. It appears that this guy is trying to make some point about Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford in their resumes. See, this is what happens when you get somebody trying to push an agenda instead of facts. When you look at the facts, Errol Spence Jr. has been knocked out. He's been completely washed in the fight. He's shown that he's not able to make adjustments and not able to be competitive. He doesn't have an elite chin. He doesn't have elite power. He doesn't have elite skills. He literally has no elite attributes. So when you've seen that in the biggest fight on the biggest stage of his career, you saw that Errol Spence Jr. was washed and stopped. But then you also see that Terrence Crawford and his entire team stated that they believe that the media, fans have hyped Errol Spence Jr. as a great fighter. They're essentially saying this man's a hype job. So Errol Spence Jr. is a hype job and overrated, and this comes from Terrence Bud Crawford, the same guy he's trying to pump up. See, let's just be honest and unbiased. If Team Crawford believes that Errol Spence is a hype job, why don't you? Errol Spence didn't show us anything elite in that fight. Power, chin, skills, nothing. Let's just be honest and unbiased. And then when you turn around and look at Gennady Golovkin has never been knocked out. He's never not been competitive in any fight in his career, especially during his prime. That's it. A prime Golovkin has never been knocked out, has never been dominated. We've seen that from Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin has an elite chin. Gennady Golovkin has elite power, and he has underrated defense. Gennady Golovkin is a much better and dangerous overall fighter than Errol Spence Jr. Gennady Golovkin's not a guy like Errol Spence who's going to fight Mikey Garcia, who moved up 2 weights, and Errol Spence couldn't get him out of there. Gennady Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the same Kell Brook that Errol Spence fought, and he moved up in weight to fight Triple G, and Triple G destroyed him. Triple G destroyed him so much so that Errol Spence was able to beat him off the back of that ass whooping that Triple G gave him. I mean, let's just be honest and unbiased about what's going on. Triple G has been listed and ranked as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. People were afraid of Triple G. We understand about what's going on. Triple G's chin is rock solid. You ain't never seen this man getting dog walked across the ring to the point where he's sitting up here looking like the Nutty Professor. But you've seen that from Errol Spence. You've never seen Errol Spence become the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the sport. Let's just be honest and unbiased. There's levels to it in boxing, and Errol Spence is not on the same level as Triple G.